We're going to show this bad boy, the SumpPump.
Robots are right here in this.
Welcome, mate. Tell us about this amazing module.
So, SumpPump, it started as a super simple idea. I just wanted that Boss noise suppressor pedal in my modular rack, because I had some super compressed drums that when the drums weren't playing, I was just getting that super loud compression hiss, and I wanted to kill that. And like, I can't find any noise suppressors in Eurorack. That had what I wanted in it. And so I kind of started working on making that, and it was just a noise suppressor at first. And it was like, well, we have all the parts in there with the comparator and everything that we could just flip it and make it into a compressor as well. And it kind of went from there. But yeah, it's basically based on the gate effect from Ableton, if anyone is familiar with that.
Yep.
It's same controls as that. You have your floor, threshold, attack release settings. And the only thing it doesn't have that I wish it did now was the a hold for the envelope. But you get a gate with the envelope, so it's still good. So I'll explain the module now. So it's a noise gate or compressor, stereo. The envelope follower for the compressor or noise gate only follows the left input. So you could do mono side chaining if you want, or do full stereo. There's manual engage input for additional side chaining, and a duck input for additional side chaining. So there's kind of three different ways you could side chain this thing. CV control over threshold and the floor setting. And then there's an envelope output as well. So you could kind of use it as an envelope generator if you want. You could use it as a VCA in a pinch. So yeah, it's a pretty versatile module that I have two in my rack right now just to tackle all the different things I wanted to do with my case. Yeah, so there's attack and release controls with the envelope. Attack, they go about a millisecond to about 5 seconds, so about what you need for a compressor. And it gets, what's really fun about it is, I designed it as more utility sort of thing, but it gets into extreme territories really quick, and it's really easy to kind of dial it in, that you could really feel it nicely, that you're not going to like accidentally get into extreme territory if you don't want. But yeah, it's really great for chopping things up and using it as an effect rather than just a utility.
That's awesome. Definitely piqued my interest. And I think you've got it listed as 170 US. Is that correct?
Yes,
it's
170.
Excellent price. Excellent price.
Thank you. Yeah. It's just for sale on my Etsy shop right now. Yep. There's kits that are coming to Modular Addict very soon. And those will be 130.
Okay.
So
save
quite a bit cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm working on getting some DIY kits over to the EU or UK somewhere.
Yes, like
so that's in process now. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, cool. Right, so there was a couple of other things that I thought I'd just add to it. So I believe with your AR, you can also combine them to get to 10 seconds. Is that correct? Like with your attack and release, you can combine it. So
sure.
Yep. So there's a couple little sort of quirky tricks that you can do in there. One of the things I liked about it too was the duck input has an AC coupled input, which I thought was actually really cool. Which then you can actually use the internal envelope follower for some sort of effect type thing as well. So almost like a ARP 2600 sort of thing going on there in that sense, right? Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, that worked out nicely. I wanted to just be able to put a kick in there, and we messed with the resistor in that spot with a few different values, and we got a nice middle ground that also will work with triggers as well. So you don't have to just use audio.
Fantastic, awesome. So you're saying to me before that you've got a couple of these in your case. Are you kind of are you just using them in various just random things, or are you actually putting them together in some sort of dual format? Is that kind of, or both maybe? Is that kind of what you're thinking?
No, I don't have them interacting with each other in my rack just yet. That's a great, fun idea I need to experiment with though now. Um, yeah, I keep my rack straight over there. Keep looking over. Yeah, right now I've been using one for my synth voice and then one for drums because it's really great on drums, as I've showed in my video, but then it's also really good on synth voices after your envelope and VCA is you could kind of do more manual control of your envelope and kind of chop it up and bring it back. Uh, it worked really well for doing like build ups and things like that.
Hmm.
So yeah, or just burying a sequence and then kind of revealing it
Nice.
from chopping it up. Yeah, yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
This is also possible as an alternate because low pass gates, almost like everywhere and everyone's done it, and it's like a one trick pony almost with low pass gates because they're very hard to manipulate unless you get some crazy one like the Erica Synth version, which most people don't. But this just gives you sort of an alternative to that, and you've got the compressor side and that ducking side as well. So with the way it treats the audio signal, just run us through the signal path on that. So say we put an audio signal through and we want to use your ducking input, for example, like what's happening under the hood there?
Yeah, so the most complicated thing in the circuit is a VCA, I believe, in a comparator. So everything is just kind of routing to this NVCA. So I have my inputs are going into that, and then if the VCA is being held open by voltage, and sorry, and seeing in the chat here, Seatnick Synth actually did the circuit work for me on this, and
Oh,
he can correct
fantastic.
me if I'm wrong on anything. The signal goes into left and goes into an envelope follower. That envelope follower signal is compared against the threshold level in a comparator. The switch of the gate and compress depends on, determines the orientation of the comparator, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that
Expanding,
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
expanding
and
versus compressing.
correct. And then so that gate from the comparator is just going into an envelope generator, and the envelope generator is basically attached to a very biased attenuverter, where which is the floor knob. So at about 3 o'clock is unity, and if you go clockwise from that, you could get up to a two-time boost, and you go counterclockwise, and you could cut it all the way down to it's completely silent. I put negative infinity in there to kind of match what the Ableton gate has. Yeah, so that envelope is being applied to that NVCA along with the duck signal. So the duck is just AC coupled input going into an envelope follower, a separate envelope follower from the
Yep.
main input, and that is just being applied to that NVCA.
Yep.
So I found that attenuating the duck input helps if you don't want it, full force.
Does it
yeah,
have any?
and then
Does it have any rounding on it? Is it kind of like a? Does it have any sort of filtering or slight rounding on the edges?
Knees.
Yeah.
In compression, they call it.
I don't. There's no attack on it. It's very, very snappy.
Good.
But then the decay has a nice. I would say it's like a nice medium kick decay as far as like the decay length. As far as any like curve on it, I've noticed that the envelopes have like a hint of exponential curve to them,
Yeah. Great.
but it's very close to linear. But it was leaning a little exponential.
Fantastic. Awesome. I love the graphics on it. Did you do the graphics yourself on the module?
Yes, yes. I'm my day job is a graphic designer and an illustrator. So yeah, I do all the graphics for my panels, and I actually do graphics for a few other synth companies as well. Do the Nick Synth, who helped out with this panel. He helps me out with circuits. I help him out with design stuff. So I do his design, and I've done a bunch of design for After Later Audio as well.
Oh, fantastic. Awesome. Okay. Well, that's awesome. Do you guys have some questions for Brian? Well, he's here. Might as well.
I want to have a question. I was just going to say before you said it, I love the graphics on it because I always like to see decent graphics on modules, especially because I'm not as big as modular as Andy and Chris and Rans. Even though I've got my module, but I use it for messing about for sounds and stuff. But it'd be quite good for live as well. I think it'll be really, really, really useful for live. Yeah. Anyone doing EMOMs with them, that'll be really, really interesting. There's a few people actually not on the show like this. So yeah, and I was just going to say I love the graphics, and the price is
thank you.
Not bad at all either. Decent price. What it'll be like
thank you. Yeah, for stereo for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Because quite a few times on the show, don't we, Rams? We always look at it and we go, "Oh, it's nice, but God, that's a bit expensive." But nice is in the decent ballpark for a change. You know, we're not all putting our hands in our hands and head thinking, "Oh God, that's just ridiculous pricing." But I like it. I like it, and it'll be great for EMOMs, I think. So
great,
nice live.
And I will vouch it is fantastic live. I've done 2 gigs with it already. Yeah, really great for doing chopping up drums, and I was doing build-ups with my synth voice with it in my last show.
That's what I was thinking, because I like the Ableton, for doing the chopping and stuff on the Ableton. But obviously this is not Ableton, but since it's inspired from the Ableton version, so that'd be quite cool as well. So yeah. So yeah, I'd give it a thumbs up.
Beautiful. Excuse me.
I have a question as well, if I may. Especially since you said it's inspired by kind of the DAW utility and something that in that world we take so much for granted, but in Eurorack a lot of these things don't exist at all. How did you find porting that sort of thing into the Eurorack world as a design process? Like, did you have to change the kind of the tuning of the knobs, or how did you play with it knowing that it's going to live in a different context rather than in a DAW?
The biggest thing I think was really figuring out the threshold range in Eurorack of we don't want to go to 10 volt because that would be too big of a range, but 5 volts is not enough. So I think the threshold range is 8 volts, which ended up being like a really nice feel with that. We're actually in the process of porting this to a guitar pedal as well, which we'll need to fine tune and play with that again to adjust to the guitar world. It just worked out really nice. The design's very simple. That there weren't too many issues. The biggest thing was that duck input, honestly.
Fantastic. Great questions, guys.
Actually, I had a question about the gate function. I haven't used the Ableton gate function at all. Is this similar to like the Novation X gator on some keyboards I had in the past, where you can get like a staccato, almost arpeggio gate function, or does it not do that?
Style.
It's just a noise gate.
There's a noise gate. Okay. Right.
It's just a real simple sidechain noise gate utility in Ableton. Right.
Okay, no, that's good. I was curious if it was like that as well.
You can run
I hear gate and I hear different things.
You can run a clock into it.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah, with
Yeah,
with
'cause
Max,
it's,
you could do whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Brian, fantastic.